Well, hello there, Pisces. Happy full moon phase. Happy full moon phase. We're coming up on a full pink moon in Scorpio on the 23rd of April. This reading is for the 21st of April through the 21st of May. Mercury is still retrograde until the 25th. So don't forget to continue pouring into yourselves, Pisces, in ways that puts a smile on your face. And stay away from anything that causes you to be confused. Any toxic energies, in other words. Any toxic energies, right? That could cause you to be overwhelmed, right? All right. So that you don't have to have the rose-colored glasses about situations around you forcibly removed, and you are gently removing them yourselves. Let's get into it. Talking to you wherever Pisces is in your birth chart. That card wants to jump out the deck. Let's see what the card is. All right, two cards, Four of Swords and High Priestess. Very nice. That's right. So Four of Swords, High Priestess. I've already prayed over your cards, Pisces. This is a general reading, so take only what resonates with you. If you're interested in a personal reading, my information is down below. See, we have Four of Swords here. That's right. So Source wants you to really, really get your rest. Here we also have the High Priestess. We also have Pisces. We also have Two of Cups. We also have the Sun card. So if you haven't checked your birth chart, maybe your MC is High Priestess energy. Maybe you want to start thinking in terms of like psychic, in the spiritual esoteric world, professions, maybe therapy, maybe you're a therapist or a psychologist, a psychiatry, mental health professional, right? So I'm talking to you again wherever Pisces is in your birth chart. Please pull your birth chart. Find out what your north node is, your south node. This is a great time for learning when Mercury is retrograde. It's a messenger planet, but it's also the planet of communication, knowledge, learning, factual memory, opinions, sibling relationships, travel, trade, commerce. It really affects how we communicate, how we send out, and how we receive communication. So wouldn't you rather communicate, learn how to increase your communication with self and just kind of like, body language. There's so many different ways of communicating. Well, once I feel like somebody's going to be learning how to be a better communicator, what kind of message you send out. You don't want to send out confusing messages like your mouth is saying no, but your body language is saying, I'm not sure. Right. So let's say you said, okay, I'm telling a person, I want you to leave me alone, but your body language is saying something different. It almost gives confusing messages, right? Like, okay, this person betrayed me. I really don't want to be their friend anymore, but I'm compassionate enough, because you're the most compassionate sign, that maybe they're going through some things right now. You want to send out a firm no. Be compassionate towards self first. So here we have four. So Source is trying to teach you how to let some things rest in peace. And the High Priestess energy weigh the pros and cons of some things in every area of your lives, not just in the physical friendships, but also just how you feel. When you think about certain people, places, and things, does the cons outweigh the pros? If it does, don't confuse yourself. Pour into you. If it's draining, it's just straight up draining. If it's toxic, it's just toxic. Like, stand on it, right? Because I know you're a mutable sign. So here we have the Two of Cups. Source is going to send soulmate energy across your path that's going to feel like it's pouring right into your soul. Like, okay, wow, you know what? This is what it feels like. It just feels like fresh water, right? Here we also have the Eight of Cups. So definitely Source is putting you in a community of energies where they're pouring into you, you're pouring into them, so you don't feel so indecisive. And the reason I use the word indecisive is because when you watch this video, the moon will probably be in Libra. And so you want to be your own judge, jury, and executioner, the hangman, so that you don't have to go into escapism. That's your ruling planet, Neptune. You're ruled by two planets, Jupiter and Neptune. You'll feel very lucky, very fortunate when you can stand firm on really just what you believe. Really believing in yourself, believing that you can do exactly what you said you were going to do. Somebody, like I said, somebody has High Priestess energy, believing that you High Priestess, believing that you have psychic abilities and sharpening those psychic abilities, and also imparting that wisdom and knowledge. You're not trying to be like your friend down the street, like your sibling, like mom or dad. Those gifts you inherited those gifts. So that's what you want to sharpen. So you don't need to compare yourself to other energies. So for those of you all who are already in that esoteric world, sharpening your gifts, high priestess gifts, psychic abilities. You sharpen them however you need to sharpen them. So you know what works best for you and what doesn't. Here we also have the Two of Pentacles. I see a balance in your money as well. Here we also have the Three of Pentacles. Yeah, I see somebody not only being in a leadership position in whatever your job is, but I see you creating room for additional streams of income because you're building your confidence level. A lot of people who are operating in their purpose, things seem like they come easy to them. They don't. You've just come to terms with the fact that, people are going to compare you to other people. You just have to stay in your lane and sharpen the gifts and talents that you have, right? So, yeah, that's what I'm seeing for you. So congratulations to somebody in a leadership position. You don't have to be like the other leaders in the company. You bring your own high priestess gifts to that organization. So sharpen those. That's how you're going to stand out. We also have Two of Wands. You have a lot of opportunities to meet new people coming across your path, Pisces. For those of you all who want to date, like I said before, Source is going to make sure you booked and busy and not burdened at all. I see a lot of travel, so you meeting new people. Again, you don't have any competition. Leave that kind of energy behind because that's draining for you. You need time to process your emotions. So if you believe that somebody sees you as competition, remove yourself from the equation. If it's unhealthy, like it's one thing for a person that says, hey, a lot of you all may be having more vivid dreams as we get closer and closer to getting closer and closer to the full moon, right? This pink full moon, this full pink moon in Scorpio. So Source is saying you want to leave behind the unhealthy and wounded part of some things. So for instance, what I'm seeing here is that Source is going to introduce you to a whole lot of energies, new energies. That's not a problem because you're highly magnetic and your gifts are helping you with that. Let me see if I can give somebody an example of what I'm talking about. Since we got fire here, we got cups here, we got here, right? So your fire would be your spirituality and your assertion. You don't have to be aggressive. That's your spirituality and where you need to take action, right? Your water would be your creativity, your emotions, your sexuality, sensuality, your fertility, the things that you're passionate about, all of that. Your earth would be, like your security, your stability, your tenacity, your loyalty, your patience, your career success, all of those things, right? So imagine going into a situation where, and this is why you can really rest in peace with all of this, Pisces, because imagine going into a situation knowing that you came from prayer warriors. So if you're in situations where people are trying to prey on your high priestess gifts, you don't have to really say anything. Your energy is letting you know right then and there that somebody sees you as competition because they have a point to prove. You don't. Why would they be attracted to your energy if they didn't have a point to prove, to try to take out the competition? They're trying to extinguish your flames. You're just like, let go, have at it. Sometimes you got to learn how to say, okay, you say you're a better high priestess than I am. Okay. You say you're better clairvoyant or claircognizance, clairsentience, clairaudience, better deja vu, better whatever than I do. Okay. Because why is the enemy trying to attack you and your gifts, Pisces? You know what I'm saying? You know your creativity and what you bring to the table, right? You don't have to prove it every single time. Unless you're in a space where Source is saying, let's say, for instance, you high priestess energy, but you're also a singer. Let's say you're a painter. Let's say you're a person who plays instruments. And there's a call for that. It's not by coincidence that you're in those spaces. But let's say you were called somewhere because of your psychic abilities, right? And so you're connecting with a person who is, you're connecting with people who maybe compare you to somebody else. They may not even be certain of that's what they're even doing. They may not even, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. They don't even know that they're comparing you to somebody else, right? Let's say even, like I said, in the workplaces, I see somebody in a leadership position, right? And you're helping a lot of people learn. And people are comparing, well, so-and-so did this and so-and-so did that and so on and so. In their mind, they may be thinking, Pisces, oh, I was just bringing it to your attention that such and such did it this way. Like people like to compare instructors and managers and leaders and whatever. Oh, my last manager did so and so on and so forth. And so, again, you appreciate that they're bringing that to your attention, but you have your own style, right? And you can always ask people what was the purpose of them bringing it to you, because this is how you do what you do. And this is what you add to it, and you're drawing from personal experiences, whether they were directly or indirect experiences. You see what I'm saying, where I'm going with this? Pisces, so Source is saying you can let some things rest in peace, because how some people move is that they need to be in constant friction. They need to be in this competitive, I got to extinguish somebody's flames in order to prove a point that I'm the best. Okay, if that's how they move, for you, that may not work for you. For you, it may be, like I said, if it's calmer waters and things just come to you, whereas they feel like they need to go out and get it. You see? So that's what I'm saying for you all so far, Pisces. So like I said, don't hang yourself out to dry by stepping into somebody else's ring when Source is like, that's you stepping down off of your throne when I'm just sending information to you. Let them go. If they feel like they need to go out and jump off their throne and go out and, start wildfires and whatever. Source is saying that's what some people have done. They feel like they got to go. It's the same thing when I'm looking at your cards. Some people feel like they got to say negative things about you to make themselves look favorable when you haven't said anything negative about them. Information just comes to you. High Priestess. You don't have to go out and get the information. You don't have to go out and defend yourself. It's coming to you. Right? So, yeah. So document those dreams and stay focused. Here we have the Knight of Swords here. Document those dreams and stay focused. The old you didn't know how to do mirror work. This is the new you. That's the old you. The old you would run away at the first sign of some kind of trouble. The new you is even more focused, right? Again, you're doing the mirror work. You got the I can do spirit. You're doing the mirror work, you see? So, yeah. So you've already moved on from the depth of disappointment of people who say that you're not smart enough, you sabotage yourself every time you open up your mouth. You've already gotten away from that, Pisces. And because information comes to you, right? And so what are you going to do with the information that comes to you? People are saying you sabotage yourself every time you open up your mouth. Maybe you did in the past by trying to prove to people, just how smart you are. But guess what? When the information comes to you, God can say, okay, all right, God, you sent this information to me. How do you want me to use this to better myself as you're journaling? We did provide digital journals and calendars below, but you got to know what works best for you as a psych. You already have the gift of psychic in you. You don't have to prove that you're smarter than or better than, or that you need to be in a big argument to, try to extinguish somebody else's flames when it already comes to you. That's how that's how they feel empowered, but you feel empowered in how you feel empowered, right? So that's what Source is trying to teach you is learn how to do the mirror work, because the mirror is also a portal. The mirror is also a portal. It'll make people think that you're being lazy when actually it's not. People don't understand that you all are the last sign in the Zodiac. You symbolize the ages of 77 plus years. So you've been here before. Your spirit has already been here longer than the other Zodiac signs, right? Aquarius is right up there. Capricorn is right up there because they're the 10th, 11th. You're the 12th Zodiac sign in tropical astrology. We're not necessarily counting a fucus, even though the readings speaks to your sidereal and tropical astrology. But still, Source is saying to you, for you, Pisces, once you really study your birth chart and recognize just how powerful your psychic gifts are, you'll never let a person call you lazy again, because you know how to speak into existence what you want for yourself. Keep it close to the cuff until after it's done, and your work will speak for itself. So you don't need to go out there and explain to everybody that you like this person and you're not trying to get into their, whatever, right? So yeah. Some people, if that's how they grow their garden, if that's how they plant their seeds, that's between them and however they plant their seeds. But for you, you know how to speak things into existence. You know how to do the mirror work. Here we have High Priestess. So Source is going to keep putting you around High Priestess energies. Like I said, you could be around one High Priestess energy that feels like they're in competitive mode. They got to compete against other High Priestess energies that may not be your strong suit. You know, you let God fight your battles, right? So Source wants you to operate in childlike faith moving forward. There's two types of situations in particular that I feel like somebody has already moved on from the disappointment and, you know, kind of like feeling like you sabotaged yourself being in certain spaces. Because how else are you going to know unless you're in those spaces? A lot of times parents don't know to tell their kids, you know, this type of, you know, they're not going, your parents are not sitting you down and teaching you astrology and what's your strong suit and what's your, so don't even beat yourself up about it. Matter of fact, forgive them. They didn't know any better, because if they were talking about astrology and zodiac signs and psychic gifts and all of that, they probably would have been demonized. We just live in a different time where people are more open to talk about those kind of things. So I see you feeling happy, charismatic, and free. I definitely see you're in a different headspace. You're learning how to protect your water. Here we also have the Ace of Cups here. So I'm seeing your wishes being fulfilled after moving on from, you know, like I said, some disappointing situations in the past. Here we also have the Knight of Cups. And it is tempting. You are tempted to kind of prove that you are just as smart as, but you don't have to, because information comes to you. Source is saying once the information comes to you, you say to God, okay, God, you allow me to have this dream, this download. However you get your downloads, you allow me to something to come to me in a daydream while I was standing at the kitchen sink. You allow some information to come to me while I was in a bathtub or taking a shower or shampooing my hair or standing near a lake, a stream, a body of water. You allow this information to come to me. Okay, God, what do you want me to do with it? How do you want me to empower myself with the information that you came through? Thank you. Thank you for sending me this information. Yeah. Because what I'm saying here in the cards is that some people are saying about you, Pisces, as soon as something gets hard, you run away. And that's why your love life doesn't work out, because we're talking about all this water. That's why you don't stay long in relationships. So people would like to say, oh, they've been married a couple of times, or they've had kids by different people because they run at the first sign of trouble. They, you know, when they don't last in toxic environments, whatever. You've heard it all, Pisces. But Source is saying to you, you don't need to. That's your saving grace. You're highly intuitive. You have a lot of spiritual gifts, and that can be overwhelming for people who have multiple gifts. It's one thing to say, you know, you remember your symbol are two fish swimming together, going in opposite directions, right? Tied together, swimming in opposite directions, right? The power of your water that attracts very thirsty energies, right? They're thirsty for your knowledge. They're thirsty for your joy. They're thirsty for your compassion, right? And so usually people who are coming up to you trying to pull out your intellect and see how smart you are, or trying to manipulate your mind, this form of mind control, or trying to get you to water their seeds, are energies where people have done the same thing to them. That's why I talk about pulling your Chiron so often. Chiron. The link to pull your Chiron is below. Pull your Chiron. Find out where that wounded energy, because you could have been raised by people. For instance, let's say, you know, you were raised by bullying types of energies who you didn't get a chance to process your thoughts and those kind of things. Well, the light side of that is that it may inspire you, once you leave those bridges burned, to say, I can inspire myself in my own time, right? While life is still happening. I don't need people blowtorching me in my back or saying scathing words in order for me to accomplish my goals. I can do it in God's time, not human's time, if that makes any sense, right? So that's what I'm saying for you all. Your words are actually going to speak louder than, you know, your actions are going to speak louder than your words. You won't need to say anything. Your work is going to speak for itself. So I said before, you've moved on from a lot of, because it's just game. And you guess what? You're still going to arrive at the same point people thought you would never arrive at, a very rich legacy. You and somebody are going to arrive at a very rich legacy. Why? Because you've learned how to go at your own pace without the distraction of people, without the nightmares around you. People saying that you run at the first sign of trouble, that, you always put your foot in your mouth, you don't know what to say, unless it's benefiting them, right? So when you're there being a listening ear and being compassionate towards them, you know exactly what to say. So how is it that when they're not getting what they want from you, you don't know what to say? It's just game. It's just game. So again, you're cutting ties with that part of yourself of staying in a state of confusion. Here we also have the Hangman. Like I said, came out twice. So it's saying there's two types of situations in particular. Like I said, you're not passing, if you have kids, you're not passing down that mindset that things have to only be done one way, like your kids are a robot. You're definitely not passing that toxic trait down to them. Or if you have friends, you're not passing that toxic trait down to them either. So that's what I'm seeing for you all so far. So we're going to go ahead and get ready to close this out, Pisces. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and get ready to close this out. But yeah, please pull your birth chart. Find out MCIC. Find out what your north node, south node is, your moon, rising, Venus, all the placements in your chart, because Mercury is currently retrograde. I have a whole channel on planet retrogrades on the second channel. It's called the Knowledge Channel. During this time, get acquainted with that. Don't sit there and let stuff swirl around in your mind where you're so disappointed it's hard for you to move on from some things. And like I said, you have a lot of ancestors around you helping you to move on from a lot of hurt and pain, in your past. A lot of deep, those, and so also help you to stay financially independent, right? A lot of temptations are around you. A lot of temptation for you to get distracted, but stay on course, right? You've already moved on from some disappointments and feelings of abandonment, and this is what you've been in search of. Peace within, and also to be in a relationship, a very peaceful relationship with your person, all of which you're being blessed with. But again, you have to be able to explain to people, come and get out of your head and stop overthinking things, because it gives people the impression that, okay, is this person checked out? What's going on? Gives people that impression. Come out of your head and say, okay, I need to have some conversations with some people. Especially if you say your head and heart are at war with each other. Okay, give me a minute to think. Give me a minute to process. That it takes 2 seconds to say that. Okay, I heard what you said. Give me a minute to process my thoughts. And then I'll get back with you as soon as I can. Takes no time to say that. Let's see what else we got so you can stay focused. Here we have the Wheel of the Year. Is still your year. Somebody's going to feel very fortunate, this year. If you can just get disciplined and just recognize that people will compare you to other people. I mean, really, they will compare you to other people, because that's how people have trained them, conditioned them. Here we also have the Three of Wands. Everything is lining up perfectly for you, but you'll be able to defend your decision to move on from those types of spirits. You won't be a Judas in your own circle, because you have communicated with people, this is what I need to be focused. I don't like being all over the place, rushed into things. I need to focus, right? And that gives you some time to discipline yourselves, right? Instead of feeling like you're constantly being compared to this person and that person, this person and that person. If that's how other people feel like they can get their point across, hey, good for them. Yippee for them. But you're trying to give the best of yourself, and you need time to process your thoughts. Here we also have Wheel of the Year. So that's what I'm seeing for you all, Pisces. So yeah, no rushing yourself into, this part of your journey. Let's get ready to close it out. So I feel like Pisces, just to kind of sort of wrap up your reading here, I feel like Source is going to pair you with energies who have been through the exact same thing as you have, but their energy is going to inspire and motivate you to tap into your High Priestess gifts in ways that works best for you, if that makes any sense to you. That works best for you, because there's no cookie cutter way, right? Even when reading cards, I know how to read cards. I've been reading cards for a long time, and I know how to read them in a traditional sense. But I also, couple with the other gifts that I have, read the cards that way. But another person may read them in a traditional sense. For them, they may need to line the cards up, past, future, presence, ask questions for clarity in this area, that area. Before I even turn the camera on, I ask God for clarity in every area of your lives. I'm speaking to all placements wherever Pisces is in your birth chart. But again, I understand that there are some people who are conditioned to see card reading or psychic abilities or the clairs in just one way. There's no one cookie cutter way of doing things. So sources were saying, I'm putting you with some people, the community of people that's going to help you. Just hang in there with yourself. Just learn how to discipline yourself and learn it the way you're going to learn it. I kind of sort of liken it to like learning math. You know, there's rules to, you know, to mathematical equations, but 2 and 2 is 4, just like 1 and 3 is 4. Just like 0 and 4 is 4, right? Does it make it incorrect in the way that you come to your conclusion based on how you learn best, Pisces, and you standing firm on that? Because there's enough people out here that if you don't do it their way, they're ready to bring out the blowtorch and the sword and assault you with their words and their actions, cut you off, cuss you out, go off on you, won't give you a chance to process. You know, it's absolutely possible for, if you're a singer or a musician, for people to like your musicianship just as much as they like somebody else's musicianship, and you all could sing 2 totally different genres. Your voice and range could be totally different. So it's the energy and the passion that you bring into what you're doing. If that, hopefully that's helpful for somebody, because I feel like, you know, when you think about when you're having these dreams and downloads and how people motivate and inspire you is also going to be very helpful. You can take what you need and the rest of it, hey, file it away and file 00. It's all good because it's all God. It also, another thing that's coming to me too is that, you know, for those of you all who have your friendships and your love interest and children and your mentees and students and those kind of things, with your psychic abilities, you have this knowing, and the fact that you all are wired to be very compassionate towards people. You all have this knowing, Pisces, of what people need. You could have, let's use 2 children, for example. Let's say you're an educator and you have 2 kids in your class. And one kid seems to be a little bit more outgoing than the other one. The other one seems to be more of an introvert and reserved. They're not one and the same. I'm not using those words interchangeably, right? But let's say you have, you know, one seems to be a lot more outgoing. They make friends easily, so on and so forth. And they seem like they just know stuff. Like they comfortable operating in their gifts. And the other one, they show their gifts in other ways, right? They process things differently, right? You all have this, the gift of just helping people to learn how to believe in themselves. You all are the I believe sign. So you help people to know how to believe in themselves, Pisces, but you first got to make sure you believe in you in order to impart that wisdom and knowledge onto other people. Because we already have enough people on this planet that don't believe that you're smart, don't believe that you're ever going to get married or that you're going to ever find love again. Or, you know, adults do that to each other because they still haven't nurtured that inner child inside of themselves to even believe in themselves. So it's hard for them to believe in other people and that people are going to do what they said they were going to do, right? So you don't have to, as an adult, you can put one foot in front of the other. You can get out of their life. You can say, yeah, you don't believe in me, you're a distraction. Because if I say I'm going to do it, I just need some time to process my thoughts, and I'm going to do it. If I say that I'm going to do it, I'm going to stand firm on it, but I don't need your distractions around me. Whereas with little kids, they got to go back wherever they live, you know, to their parents or whatever, wherever they live, and kind of sort of be there until they're at a stage in their lives where they have to, they can move on from that. So that's what I'm seeing for you in your cards. And that's what Source is saying. Take the blindfolds off, do the mirror work, and just see how blessed and highly favored that you are to be able to get up from this position right here. This was you, and this is you now. Like looking at how hurt you've been, how many nightmares you've gone through, and just how many disappointments you've had in your life, and how you survived all those disappointments. And your ancestors are saying, come on, let's go. People see you as tens across the board in terms of your intellect. And that's why people want to challenge your intellect so bad, Pisces. And I'm talking to you wherever Pisces in your birth chart. They want to make it a point. They want to go into a sword fight, like a debate. Y'all ever seen, what's the name of the, I think the name of the movie is called Debates. It's an older movie. It's like some people want to go into this big debate with you about your high priestess gifts. And they be better job talking to themselves, because you're not interested in a debate. If it does not, because with that same debate, they could be using to help teach you and help you sharpen your sword of power and intellect, instead of trying to cause you to fall on your sword. You know what I'm saying? Like cause you to say something that later on you're going to say, gosh, you know what? I feel like I should have stuck. I feel like I'm sticking my foot in my mouth every time I open my mouth. You need to get away from those energies. Here we have, so you're closing out cycles in love. Yeah. Their plan to disrupt your money backfired, and it always will. New love awaits. Yeah, new love awaits. The angel Uriel, the angel of prophecy and wisdom, is with you. Something is not as deep as you think. But remember, just because it says that on the card, it's one of the oracle cards. Just because it says it on the cards, you know how deep it is. So for some of you all, you may have said, hey, it's not even that deep for me because I've been through that. I'm so used to being disappointed by people trying to challenge your power and your intellect. You're not interested in abusing your power or abusing your intellect. Like, you're not going to let your mind be filled up with just a whole bunch of if, this, and then that statements as it relates to them. You're just saying, I'm moving on. You have the gift of precognition, which is foreknowledge. Your next love interest will make you a lot happier. Somebody apologizes for betraying you, a guy. Your ancestors are very proud of you. Dream even bigger. That's it. You have the gift of premonition. That's forewarning, and they apologize for hurting you. So whoever they are, pray and meditate. Like I said before, when people are trying to come at you 1,000 miles an hour, trying to prove that you're not smart enough, you're not worthy, whatever, remove yourself from the equation. Put a minus sign between you and them. Speaking of mathematical rules, put a minus sign between you and them and remove yourself from the equation altogether. Let them stand there and argue with whomever about whatever, but you're not interested in that at all. So some people, they can't. On one hand, you feel like, yeah, I can do it. Until you just the thought of it is just draining. You all know what I'm talking about. Sometimes you're around people and they got that go get them spirit and such and such. But after a while, you're like, okay, you feel like a fish out of water. Speaking of your symbol fish, you feel like, I like to be around where things just flow, because I like, information to flow to me. I also like to be able to process it and share that information with other people. And I like that help. That's what source is putting you around. So if you're in some spaces where people have to keep, arguments going and sword fighting and blowtorch fighting back and forth, that's overwhelming for some people. And so again, your gifts are being sharpened in a way that God is sharpening your gifts, not human telling you that this is the way you need to sharpen your gifts. So hopefully that helps you. Because otherwise it'll make you seem like you lazy and shiftless and easily overwhelmed and run at the first sign of problems. And that's the farthest from the truth. Thus, there's no truth in that at all, but that's how they would see it, because they're projecting how people taught and conditioned them, Pisces. Okay. So they got to be in these constant debates. If you put these two cards together, what does that mean? Or if I lay this spread out, what exactly does that mean? Because this other person said this. They live in that state of just constant confusion and berating each other, Pisces. And you don't need to be in those state at all. You don't need to be around that, because that'll actually weaken your gifts. Here we have 28. I am a leader, and you are. In an effort to accomplish great things, you recognize the value of working with others. Like I said before, some people are in debate land, and it's for the purpose of extinguishing people's flames or causing them to say something that's going to fall on their sword. So it's just saying it's a place for all kinds on planet Earth, in case you haven't noticed. That's just not your thing, right? So you make a capable and compassionate leader who can bring people together and drive a team toward achievement. 555 is also your number. A major shift is about to come into your life experiences and change your path's direction. So be open and stay positive. That's right. It takes all kinds to make the world go round, Pisces. And again, when you're around people who think that you want to sleep all the time and that you're lazy, you just have a more laid back approach to life. You have a more laid back approach to life. So keep energies around you that keep you in good spirits. You know, people think that's not unattainable, but that's not true. When you know exactly what nurtures your spirit, source is saying that that's your moon sign, then go where that is. If you know what your purpose is, go where you feel like your spirit is most nurtured, fed. Right? That's right. Know your power. That's where your power is allowing source to download things into your mind, into your universe. Source is actually deprogramming and reprogramming you so you can get away from energies where the air is stuffy. Some of you all may have found yourselves relocating because just the air of just the energies around, just a bunch of smoke and mirrors around you. People pretending to be something that they're not, you know, coming across as having more power, having more this, more that. But when it really boils down to it, source is saying to you, it's just a veil. So you want to now be around energies that don't have to keep people distracted by all of this betrayal, backstabbing. You can't even get your foot out the front door without hearing your name being mentioned in some kind of gossip session. You don't want to be around those types of energies, not as a healer, because it actually contaminates your gifts. All right, Pisces, let's close it out. Let's close it out. Let's close it out. Let's close it out. So that's what I'm seeing for you all. That's how your gifts are going to become a lot more sharp and not being around energies where they're constantly looking for you to stumble over your words or, you know, say something that's going to sabotage you so they can say, see. So all obstacles in my path are being cleared. These are affirmations for strength. I am stronger than yesterday. I am brave. I am courageous. I learn from my mistakes. Failure is a farce. All effort is testing. I rise above all that stands in my way. Improvement is my only concern. Yeah, so two types of situations in particular, like I said before, somebody may have said, because you were in spaces where just the air was just a bunch of, you know, like a smoke and mirrors, people trying to think they're smarter than you are, more powerful than you are, these kind of things. And now you know that was a test, right? To see if you would put one foot in front of the other and get as far away from that dark air. You know, like I said, that smoke. When I say dark air, I'm talking about like y'all know what I'm talking about. Like you see dark smoke come out of something. You're like, okay, it seems contaminated. I'm getting away from that contaminated air. You know, where you can't even breathe. And so, again, getting to your highest frequency. That's why you have so many ancestors around you helping you to get away from this. See how this person is on this boat, like rowing this boat? They're helping you to get to calmer water so that you're not overthinking being in those spaces. I'm telling you, karmic relationships are being broken, Pisces. And all it takes is for you to sit down. Mercury retrograde is a perfect time. Sit down and just remember how all of the arguments, the sword fight, the this and that, and just all it takes is for you to sit down and remember the spaces where your physical body, your earth has been, and just see how draining it was for your mind to try to process all of this smoke and mirrors. You're going to start remembering some of the things that you used to want. You don't want those things anymore. Not because you're lazy or that somebody just said, you know what? You're just tired of all of that. Like if it's not benefiting you by being around people who want to show that they're more powerful than you are or that they're smarter than you are, and they're not doing anything to help you. But it's also going to remind you of the people who were smarter, like book smarter, and also who were in powerful positions to help you to bring out. Those are the energies that I feel like you may miss most. Those energies where you say, gosh, you know what? You know, you felt empowered around certain energies. You felt like with all of the degrees and the, but also they had a right amount of nurturing to say, hey, you know this. They may have reminded you of your strength just in a couple of sentences that will stick with you wherever you're going. Those are the energies you want to take with you. All that other stuff, move on. So, yeah. There's a lot of conversation going on around you, Pisces, about you, but again, source is saying all of that's a part of your past now. Karmic relationships have been broken. You're moving forward. The energies that were trying to hang you out to dry, they hung themselves. And I'm talking about it backfired. Like I said, their plan to disrupt your money backfired. That was the plan. Money, time is money. And so Source wants you to remain optimistic in where you're going, wherever it is you're going, Pisces, because, I said everything it's amazing from here. Yeah. Legacy wealth. Yep, legacy. It's a lot of these energies on the outside of your vault door. And that's where the anger and frustration is. Source made sure, one, you're financially independent. That's one, right? You have multiple streams of income, right? So you got a lot of income. Remember, I was saying in the beginning of your reading, information coming to you about what works best for you. So you don't have anything to prove. And that's why some people are upset, because you're not looking for their acceptance and their approval. You just moved on quietly. See how this person right here is just like moving. You don't see a lot of water splashing in the cards, none of that stuff. That person is just quietly just moving on with their lives. And so the people that think, oh, they're not smart, they run at the first sign of trouble. They always, they can't keep this, they can't stay there, they're not smart enough, they're not good enough. All of those energies, guess what? They cut themselves right on out of your universe. But that's what I have for you, Pisces. Keep on #winning in life, but also let Source send things to you in that you heard message in a bottle, water, right, through the air, through, keep taking your baths, your showers, listening to your water sounds, drinking water, all of those things, because those messages are coming to you. You don't even have to go out and get them. They're coming to you. And then when they come to you, Source is saying, this is how I want you to move from here. So you totally under Source's instructions, right? And Source's guidance. That's what I have for you. I'll see you all in the next reading. Bye.